Hi, I'm Gunashri studying in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today, I'm here to discuss about the subject maths and taking up the topic normal distribution. So moving on to the table of contents. So the topic I'll be discussing is normal distribution. In the table of contents, there is something called introduction and what are the characteristics of normal distribution, standard normal distribution, what is z-score, how to calculate it, probability density function and cumulative distribution function, hypothesis testing, normal test, and there is one problem related to the normal distribution topic. What are the limitations, applications? So continuing. So what is the introduction? So what is basically normal distribution? So it is the probability distribution that is symmetrical and well-shaped. So it is also known as Gaussian distribution. It is mainly used in statistics and data analysis. So moving on to the characteristics of normal distribution. The mean, median, and mode of a normal distribution will be equal and will be located at the center of the distribution. So again, if it is symmetric, means the left and right tails are mirror images of each other, and the standard deviation will determine the spread of variability of the distribution. So here, the given diagram demonstrates the symmetric data and for the skewed data, the graph will vary. Moving on to the standard normal distribution. So what is standard normal distribution? So it is a special case of normal distribution, which will be having a mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. So it is often used to standardize other normal distribution. So this is also called as Z distribution. How to calculate the Z distribution or Z score for a normal distribution. So what is Z score measure? So it is basically the number of standard deviations and observation or data point it is from the mean. So it is calculated as a difference between the value and the mean divided by the standard deviation. So what is Z score helpful for? It is helped for comparing and standardizing values from different normal distribution. So what is probability density function? So it describes the relative likelihood of different values in a continuous random variable. So the PDF is represented by a bell-shaped curve as demonstrated in the image beside. So the area under the PDF curve will represent the probability of a specific range of values. Moving on to the cumulative distribution function. So this will give the probability that a random variable that will take a value less than or equal to specific value. So this cumulative distribution function will be obtained by integrating the probability density function. So the area which will come under this curve will represent the cumulative probability up to a certain point. What is hypothesis testing? So normal distribution is also assumed in sometimes assumed as hypothesis testing, where the data that is a sample data available or that is known will be compared to the assumed probability mean. So it will help to determine the likelihood of obtaining a certain sample mean under the null hypothesis. There is something called a Z test and T test. So these are the two statistical commonly used statistical tests for assuming the normal distribution. Moving on to the confidence intervals. So normal distribution is again used to construct a confident intervals, which will provide a range of plausible values for unknown population parameters. So these confidence intervals will be calculated based on the sample mean and sample deviation, which will be obtained from the normal distribution. So this level of confidence will determine the width of the interval as shown. So here is an example. So the example is showing, demonstrating 95% confidence level results in a critical value of Z being equal to 1.96. So this will be considered as the most critical value of anything. So how is normal distribution used in data analysis? So not only normal distribution plays a very important role in statistics. Other than this, it has been useful in the field of data analysis. So it is checked in as data analysis to ensure the validity of statistical methods. There are various statistical test models that will rely on the assumption of normality. If in case the data is not normally distributed, so transformations or non-parametric methods may be used to determine the normal distribution in data analysis. So normal test. So what is this normal test and what is this used for? So these are basically used to access whether a data set follows a normal distribution or not. There are few tests like Shapiro-Wilk test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, and Anderson-Daring test. This test will provide a statistical measure of how likely the data is to be drawn from a normal distribution. So discussing a problem related to the normal distribution topic. So considering 50% of the population approves of the job the government is doing and that 20 individuals are drawn at random from the population, We have to solve the following question using the normal approximation or normal distribution. The first question is asking is, what is the probability that exactly 7 people will support the government? B question being 7 or fewer people supporting the government. C question being exactly 11 people will support the government. D question being 11 or fewer will support the governor. So in the question he has specified n will be equal to 20, p is 0.5. So mu will be n into p, that is 5, 0.5 into 20, that will be 10. And sigma of 5 is, which will be equal to npq, that will be equal to 5. And rho is specified as 2.236. So as determined, the NPQ value is 5, so it is greater than 3. Then we have to assume that the approximation of x of 10, 5 distribution will be followed. So when he's asking for exactly 7 people will support the governor, first we have to find the probability range, that is between 6.5 is lesser than or equal to x, lesser than or equal to 7.5. When we convert 6.5 and 7.5 to the corresponding z scores, minus 1.57 and minus 1.12 will be obtained. Using these values, when we find the z score and the f value, the answer will be the probability, sorry, the normal distribution will range up to 0.0732. So moving on to the second question, that 7 or fewer people will support the governor. So again, he's saying 7 or fewer people. So taking the value of small x as 7.5 and taking the normal distribution of p of x lesser than or equal to 7.5, we have to find the z score, that is at 7.5. What will be the z score? Calculating this, we'll get the answer as 0.1314. Moving on to the third sub question, that exactly 11 will support the governor. Taking up the range, p less than 10.5, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 11.5. Again, converting the same into z scores, we get the value as 0.1615. Moving on to the last question, that is the probability that 11 of you will support the governor. Taking the value of x as lesser than or equal to 11.5, the z score will correspond to 0.67, and the normal distribution of 0.67 is 0.7486. This was a simple demonstration of the normal distribution topic, a very basic example what I had taken. So normal distribution, yes, it has been mainly used in various different fields, but yet there are some limitations. So here normal distribution will assume that the data is always symmetric and continuous, which is not always true. And it is sensitive to outliers, and extreme observations can affect the mean and standard deviation of the distribution. Alternative distributions such as exponential or logarithmic normal distribution can be considered as more appropriate. Whereas this normal distribution playing an important role. So it is commonly used in finance companies, quality control, psychology, and social sciences fields. So it is also used to model various natural phenomena such as human height, IQ scores, and measurement errors. It is also being used in hypothesis testing and confidence interval estimation. So, not but not the least, the conclusion. So it is the fundamental concept in statistics and data analysis. So it is useful to provide a framework for understanding and analyzing data in a broader way. So this understanding normal distribution will allow for more accurate statistical inference and better decision making. Thank you for watching. Hope the video finds useful.